We're here at the NetProphet conference, and I'm sitting with Andre de Wet, GM of PriceCheck. Andre, tell me about what you're going to talk about today.
Rob, the discussion that we're going to have today is somewhat removed in a little distance from what I do in my day-to-day current job. Is before I got involved in the corporate environment, I was very entrepreneurial minded. I started off with a few years of med school, and then from there moved on and started and lost and sold and lost my shirt a few times, sold some companies, raised some money, and so I'm going to come and talk about that and the adventures and or the challenges that are open for guys that are listening today.
Great. I mean, something that I know about being an entrepreneur, that it's something that's in your DNA. It's I heard an interesting thing this morning about entrepreneurs like sharks. If they stop moving, they die. Tell me about how you've moved around the world and been
It's funny, a friend of mine always used to say, "You're a shark." Now I know why.
Not that kind of shark.
No, it's a funny thing that, you say it's in your DNA. When I was at school, my dad always used to stimulate me to start businesses. Sell photos, I was the guy running around with a big camera. Or, record whatever the speech is being held by the headmaster and sell it. And I was like, none of that. And then I go to med school, and in my third year of med school, the entrepreneurial bug just... and since then it's just run away. It is in your blood. There's constantly an idea and something that comes up that I see that I'm like, we can do that, or we can do this, or we can try that, like there's these aha moments that come up.
Fantastic. Now just moving slightly back to what you guys are doing at PriceCheck. I mean, you guys are price comparison website and app, and you're doing it across Africa. Tell me about how you guys have expanded outside of South Africa.
Well, our current move outside of Africa is just into the Nigerian market. We have bought the domain also for Kenya, and we're looking probably also at the Middle East at some other point in time. Massive e-commerce growth there, but what we have to keep in mind always is that the price comparison, what makes it so successful is that we compare like with like. So we compare in South Africa rand for rand. We don't bring in foreign products, and the same goes, so in Nigeria we'll keep it in Naira. And so we continue. And interesting play, and the move outside the country, very entrepreneurial, because you got to go into a new country and try and decide, how do we play this thing? How much do you hire local? Do you bring in foreign? However you want to play it from that point.
Okay. And I mean, you guys wouldn't exist unless e-commerce was really booming. Talk to me about the e-commerce boom that's happening right now.
Well, where's the interesting thing? You talk about the e-commerce boom. The e-commerce boom right now is over here. Okay. This is going to rewrite the internet like we know, completely. And bear with me on this for a moment, because you don't need a URL, you don't need anything. You just need the app that somebody pushes, and then they can find where they want to go. Okay, so there's no going through a channel of a search engine. You can actually find things directly if you go straight to the app.
It's a shop in your pocket.
It is, and so the e-commerce, the power of e-commerce comes to the end user much faster than normal commerce would just go through advertising in a newspaper, and then you want to go to the shop, etc. So this is, gratification becomes easier and easier.
Yeah. And can you tell me you guys obviously have got a lot of stats, you're picking up, you're seeing what's happening in the market because you're comparing e-commerce vendors, I guess. Tell me about what's happening. I mean, what sort of growth are we seeing in the industry? What areas or what niches are working?
The classic standard niches that we all know are electronics, cell phones, that type of stuff. What is becoming quite big and popular, and is it driven organic or inorganically? I'm not always sure. It's fashion.
Okay.
Now, fashion is big. The question is, was it Xander that pushed it? We don't know. However, internationally, fashion is growing. House and home. So people are taking a look at those areas that are really, you're starting to see real growth that's happening in them over and above the normal electronics and the stuff that you would get.
Yeah. And sort of growth of the industry?
The industry is growing very, very
sales-wise,
strong. Bigger than the retail space. People are getting comfortable with buying online. And it's an interesting one that stimulated that and actually made the hockey stick happen is the Groupon model, because you could buy something that was a voucher. You didn't need a product to be delivered, but you got comfortable giving your credit card number out onto the, typing it in to a website and sending stuff out.
Great. Well, thanks, Andre. Thanks for joining us.